Man.
Alright, I'm gonna get my shit up. Turn my game down.
I'm just getting set up here for it. Cool, okay. Get enough acetone in place. I'm gonna do some scrubbing.
My buddy's in the Air Force Officer Program, AFROTC, and they removed they had 6 lessons removed from DEI. Mentoring, critical thinking 2, leading diverse organizations, and culture and gender in military operations.
Jeez.
And instead he's learning war history.
How to defend our country, war history, previous generals of the war.
How to shoot a gun.
How to throw a grenade and not kill yourself.
And all the people around you.
All the people around you. How to not get body slammed by your DI.
How to not flag the entire firing line.
I mean, there's so many things that might be important. Alright. We're starting to get the scrub to remove the shine and give it a little bit more of a distressed look here. And if you have joined us, thanks for joining. Just messing around. I'm working on Gears of War. The client wants he wants it to look like one of the guns from Gears of War, and so the start piece is to do basically a silver base, which I have like this right here. So we have the silver base, and then I do black over it. And right now all I'm doing is using the scuff pad to knock down some of the shine and give it a little surface distressing, and then I'm going to go back. I painted this black probably, what do you say, Will, like 30 minutes ago?
Yeah.
So I painted this black about 30 minutes ago, so it's still soft, so it'll allow me to scuff it without going too deep. All I'm trying to do is give it a little bit of a flat texture. And then I'm going to go back with some acetone. I'm going to take off some of the edging. And that's going to be, crap, what is the name of this gun? Not the original Lancer without the saw on it. I think that's what it is, yeah. Anyway, so he sent me a picture of the one he likes, and that's what we're working on. So I'm just going to flatten these out, and then I'm going to go through and show you how I do the distressing piece to expose the silver underneath it, which is going to give it that kind of that metal feel. So if you stick around, which I hope you stick around, I'll show you how this works. It doesn't take too long. I'm not going to be on too long, but I'm going to try to show you up close in the camera so you guys can kind of see as I go, and you'll get a better idea of what is happening here. So the reason that I'm doing this part, which you can do, but you normally would do it much fresher over the top coat, because you can rub this down and rub through the black and expose the silver with this. All I'm doing right now is just removing the sheen from the black, and it scuffs it up, and it'll rub some of on the rough grit piece there, if you can see that. It'll rub that off, which will allow me to, hey, what's up, Outer Void Gaming. Hello, this is cool. Oh, what's up, man? Thank you. Be doing some controller stuff on here too. Mr. King, WWE 2K25, the video game. Okay. Can always do a controller of that. You know, Roman Reigns and OTC in the WWE. I don't play 2K25. Sorry, man. What's up, Aura? And then W in the chat. Okay, cool, here we go. So let me just get this, and then I'm going to show you real quick. We'll go to the next stage. This part's kind of boring because you can't really see any change, but you will in just a second if you stick with me. You'll see a bigger difference. Now, if I go over these edges and scuff it, Hopefully you can see the silver start, but it takes a lot of extra pressure, and if you're not too careful, you will scrub right through both coats of the paint. And since I don't do it as thick as I do with a real firearm, I want to be very cautious there. On a real firearm, I have a thicker layer of paint, more cure time, so I can go at it a little bit better. But we'll see here on this optic. I'm going to basically take the acetone on here. I'm going to hit these high ends, and I'm intentionally going to be rubbing off a lot of the high ends to expose it like it's been beat up, battle worn, scuffed and scraped. And so all these edges will get that look, and it will gives a really, really cool look. So now you can kind of see what we're looking at there. Cool. So that's what we're going to do on all of these parts. I'm going to use this larger stand. Again, I'm just going to take the edges and the corners that you might expect you would naturally get rubs on. And then do it right in here like this. You can see that. I'll pull this down. Rub across the top. Take some bigger chunks out. Now the stand, we're going to go back and we're going to put the Gears of War logo and whatnot on it. And then the body's going to get the red Gears of War logo on it. But the rest of it he wants to stay mostly just the worn black, and we're going to have some hints of gold and blue and whatnot in there. So there you go. So you can start to see the silver will shine through. This will dry up, and we'll go back and it's going to get our finished top coat. But that's all we're doing. We're just kind of going in here, rubbing these edges. And you can do this with anything. Now the paint that I use is, if you've watched this before, I use Duracoat, which is super hardcore, so it dries and it allows me to do what I'm doing very quickly. The longer I let it sit, the harder you have to work it, but you want it to sit long enough that it's not melting in your hand from the acetone, because the acetone is pretty hardcore. And then if you're using, let's say you're using Tamiya, you might just use a paint thinner. If you're using modeling paint, you could use your paint thinner and go back. You just want to test it to see how long does it take before how long does it take to be able to touch it and then actually be able to work with it. So you can see here it starts to rub it all off. Now this paint it actually becomes tacky because I've got so much acetone on it. But that's okay because it'll dry. And then I'm going to be continuing to distress it, and that's exactly what I'm after, is to get that look like it's been just beat to heck. Now, if I get into these really, really small detail parts like this, use a Q-tip, same thing. Get in here with my acetone, and that way I can rub these high points without rubbing off too much of the body, and allow me to work on some of these details, and then I can go back with my paper towel. And I can do the whole project with this. It just takes a little bit longer, but it gives me great control over the small areas. That if I get a paper towel in there full of acetone, it might wipe off a big section, which I don't necessarily want to do. But this will allow me to really rub these high spots on here and give a little bit more of that authentic look and feel. Like this thing has just been through war, it's been through hell and back, and Dom or one of the gear team members going to town. We're just getting this going here. I'm doing the upper and lower receiver, and it's the same thing when I'm doing a game controller, to rub like this to get that look for sure. So we get across the top of the pick rail. Just literally rub that in like that. It's going to give us that naturally worn and used look. So you can see all in there on top of the pick rail. It's similar, this game controller we're working on right here. It's going to be similar here. I've used that technique in here where I rub it off. If you haven't watched before, I've been working on this controller for the Helldivers, and it's almost ready to assemble. We're going to be doing the same thing with the buttons from Helldivers and giving it the black with the polished look underneath it like this. So you'll see that video if you're interested and you want to go check it out. So yeah, we're just rubbing it down, beating it up, on to the next piece, and that's all we're doing. So this will allow us to move to the next stage, and then this is going to get like, it's going to have some light blue accents in it. Some parts are going to get like it's going to be like a dark, deep blue, but you'll barely be able to notice the difference between the blue and the black. And it's going to get some gold pieces. This also has a M203 grenade launcher that goes with it to give it that really meaty look, so that's kind of cool. Here's a good example. I want to run my cotton swab along the rail, the insets here, so I can just give it a little bit more of a natural wear and take this silver off there, so you can kind of see how that's coming. And I'm going to go across here. So this is wearing the M203 portion here. Give that really, like, all those ridges get worn. Everywhere you can imagine, like an old beat up piece of equipment getting worn with the silver edging and all that on it. Yeah, so if you're in the chat, I appreciate you hanging out, I appreciate you checking it out. Go by and check out some of the videos. We'll be trying to do a lot more lives and seeing what works and what people like. And yeah.
You ending?
Nope.
Sounded conclusive.
I'm almost done here. Just continuing to.
How long?
Oh, my speaker said it's done. Turning itself off.
You should get a non-copyright playlist.
Yeah, I'd like to have music playing in the background. That would be cool. Alright, so I'm going to show you this mag. See what this looks like when you've rubbed get it all chipped up and stuff. There's a few different ways. So if you like doing any of this kind of stuff, or you're just curious, or you're just passing time, I do distressing in a bunch of different ways because it really depends on the project. So you can see this mag, I'm just taking it off the high points here. I just want it to be really beat up. You can see now this has actually started to dry. And so it's got all the worn pieces and edges on there. And we're going to go back and dust it with a little bit of black after it's completely cured and work on some of the high spots, the shinier spots. But yeah, that's how we're doing it. A little bit of time, we're getting there. I've got a lot of work to do on this one, so if you come back, I'll have some little shorts and whatnot on this, and you'll be able to see some of the finished product. And of course, we'll have this one posted up with what it looks like when it's done, so you can get an idea what these. So the reason here is like where these holes are, I can just literally twist this in there and rub it along these edges where I can't really get a paper towel in there very well, and it gives it much better distressing. So right in here, just twist that in, run it down the edge a little bit, and that's where the release is. The release mechanism goes right there, so it'll definitely give that appearance. And here we have all these high spots. And so this piece goes together, so I'm going to actually put these together so when I do some of the rubbing like here, these pieces will look like they were together, not taken apart for the model. There we go. Cool. And I'll go back with a little acetone, take off some of the bigger pieces. This also allows it to give almost like that, a little bit of a scratched look, which is perfect for what we want. And there we go. You can see all in here how it's coming off. All that's coming off. So let me know if you have any questions. Appreciate you all joining. We're gonna wrap it up here in just a second, but you know, you can check this out, man. Follow along. Definitely appreciate it if you give us a like and a subscribe, because we're trying to bring a lot of content. And you're gonna get content on goat guns and gaming, maybe even some other stuff. We're working on doing some other projects to see if they're gonna be big. So I'd love to see it. I'd love to see you guys join in as we do more lives, and we're kind of learning like what works and what everybody likes. It'd be really great to see more and more people joining in and kind of picking up on what we're doing.
We've got 20 people.
Anyway, thanks for joining. I appreciate it. The next video could be right around the corner, so appreciate it. Take it easy. Deuces.